Welcome to this exciting episode of AI Live. My name is Brian Terry, and I'm a Senior Partner Solution Architect here at AWS, focusing on GenAI migrations, and we're live here at reInvent 2025, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host. Man, this is good to see you in person. How would you introduce yourself?
It is good to be here in person with you because we did a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Wayne Saxe. I'm a Partner Solutions Architecture Leader here at AWS. And yeah, I think we met for the first time at reInvent last year.
Yes, we did.
On this show at the stage, and then we did a bunch of AI Live over the course of 2025.
Absolutely.
And now we get to do it again live and in person.
Another
What a way to end the last day of reInvent. I love it.
Absolutely. It's super exciting. And we have a super exciting show.
Yeah.
Just like we always do.
Always do.
And then we have the most exciting partners ever. And we have a rock star partner here. I'll let him introduce himself. Welcome to the show.
Hey everybody, I'm Randall Hunt. I'm CTO at Caylent. Caylent is an all-in on AWS premier tier consulting partner. All that really means is we build software for people. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place for passionate autodidacts and curious people with a bias for action to come and do the best work of their lives. And we get to have a little bit of product ADHD and work on all kinds of different things. And it's so much fun. So yeah, excited to be here. It's been a great reInvent so far. And yeah.
Yes. Welcome to the show. We're always excited to talk to you because your company's always innovating at a super fast clip, especially in the AI space. So one thing that's been really hot lately is AI agents. And you guys have done a lot with GenAI implementation and agents. Can you talk a little bit about what Caylent is doing in that space?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we've been involved with AI long before the ChatGPT stuff. So if you think November 2022, ChatGPT came out and the generative AI kind of kickoff happened. And I'm actually not a huge fan of the term agentic or agents because it's the same stuff we were already doing. It was using generative AI to call tools in a loop, and agents really just became a convenient umbrella term for all of these different techniques. And we've worked with a large number of customers, over 200 different, well over 200 at this point, production deployments and use cases that we've done for these customers to get agents working on their behalf and doing exciting things. And one of the things we're really excited about is Agent Core. So
oh wow, yes,
it's gotten, it's taking all of the lessons that we learned from 2022 and 2023 and 2024 and saying, if we were to build the perfect service and primitives for agents, what would we do now knowing what we know? And it's just, we nailed it. I mean, I love using the Agent Core runtime. The fact that I can pull in the primitives as I need them is really, really helpful. So loved the new announcements at reInvent this week, the eval and observability enhancements. And yeah, I mean, I kind of just want reInvent to be over so that I can go and play with all the new stuff.
So of all of the Agent Core announcements, and I know that this is like picking first amongst equals, that's fine, but of all the Agent Core announcements, which one do you think is going to be the one that's most game-changing for the challenges that your customers are trying to solve these days?
Yeah, good question. I like that.
I think, the continuation of federated identity through Gateway and MCP, it wasn't necessarily a reInvent launch, but the capabilities there are very solid. I think longitudinal memory is very good. And then, one of the things that I really like is that regardless of whether I'm using strands or crew or LangChain, whatever I want to run, I'm able to throw it into the runtime. And then the custom memory strategies, the managed memory strategies, they help, but I don't think there's any one feature that has me like, oh, this is amazing, because we work with so many different customers and so many broad use cases that different pieces of Agent Core apply to each one. And I think what I really like about it is that it doesn't force you to use every single one of the primitives. You can pick and choose exactly what you need for your use case, and you can build a bespoke offering for those customers.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? I mean,
yeah, no, it's really, I'm glad that you said it that way, because it's the flexibility inherent in the platform is I think part of its like charm and power.
It is. I mean, breaking those parts
Yeah.
down to like smaller parts, and like you said, having primitives, you actually put them together like building blocks. It's essentially how AWS is, and we've expanded that into this
Yeah.
agent kind of tooling. That's really awesome. Or a service, this is great.
I think AWS has always had the best primitives of any hyperscaler. I mean,
Right.
storage, compute, networking, and as you move up the stack, there's different things that other people might engage with or use, but S3 is a 20-year-old service and it continues to improve. That's crazy to imagine that 20 years later we're still getting new features, vector storage and things like that. And so for us, building on AWS is a no-brainer. These are the best primitives, and now I think we have the best agentic primitives. So we can go and do what we need to do for these customers across the board. Every whether in the bidirectional streaming support, the voice connections, the Amazon Connect integrations. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's nearly impossible to keep your head around. I do like yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, when Matt had his keynote. He talked a little bit about how. Or maybe it was Tommy. No, it was Matt. He talked about how humans were becoming the limiting factor in, let's call it like the speed of the new world. And that was obviously in relationship to development life cycles. But I think it's true, right? Like if we have agents that are have agency and they can do stuff on our behalf, and there's no real reason for them to stop working at 5 when I do. So how I know you guys think about this all the time. Maybe probably also in the domain of software development, but like also in sort of broader workflow terms. So I'm curious how you think of these types of sort of human as the ceiling challenge.
Absolutely. So we, like I said, have been doing this since before Bedrock, before ChatGPT, and in early 2022, we noticed as we were doing a lot of heterogeneous database migrations, meaning moving from an Oracle to a Postgres or a Microsoft SQL Server to a Postgres or MySQL. We noticed that we were repeating a lot of the same work, and that these models were becoming good enough that they could translate the stored procedures and the components of those databases in a much faster time horizon than humans could. And there's a truism that everyone wants the highest quality tokens as quickly as possible at the lowest possible cost. And one of the advantages of Bedrock is that we can constantly take advantage of the SOTA model, the state-of-the-art models, and we don't have to re-engineer, re-architect a whole bunch of code. So we built something called Caylent Accelerate. It's a framework that allows our teams to go and deliver, taking the cumulative tribal knowledge and specialized knowledge that we've figured out over thousands of database migrations, thousands of VM migrations. We put that into a database and we expose a model to that database and give it a tool to search that database so that when it encounters new information, it's able to pull in and dynamically create the context necessary to translate that stored procedure with great examples from previous work. Now, that gets better and better over time. We need fewer and fewer examples. So the agent side of this is that I think the future. Well, getting back to your original point, actually, about how the ceiling is humans, we are able to take migrations that used to be quoted at 75 weeks or something, and instead of doing multi-year-long roadmaps and migrations and things for database engine changes or for VMware migrations and things like that, we are actually able to complete those in 4 weeks or 11 weeks in certain cases. And I don't think we're at the ceiling of the automation yet. But I do think there is a ceiling to the automation because there's people, process, and change. There are behavioral updates. Human behavioral updates are slower than software updates. And we found this within our customers is we can help an organization build that muscle memory to take advantage of generative AI, and they get better and better at it over time. But they still, no matter how fast you move the bits and the bytes over the wire, you still have to learn the new tool, you still have to update processes and you still have to update behaviors. And that is definitely the limiting factor. But I'll close by saying this, which is the future belongs to people with agency. So if you are a person of high agency, you can leverage these tools and these models and these capabilities to accomplish so much more as an individual than you ever could have before. And it's a very exciting time to be involved in technology, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I love your passion. I mean, your eyes just kind of light up a little bit when you talk about these new technologies and what you can do with it. I mean, I think that's just super awesome.
I mean, this is what Caylent is about. We hire passionate technologists, and we let them work on really fun and exciting problems, and it's a great place to be.
Awesome, awesome. So, I've always kind of asked this question, right? I'm going to ask it to you, and I'm going to ask it to my good friend Wayne.
All right.
So, we have our technology right now. What does the future look like for this technology? Put you on the spot.
Well, increasing autonomy. So right now, I think we have agents that can run for 10 minutes at a time, given a very broad task, and then they can run for much longer at more specific tasks. And there's a unit economic factor at play, which is if the intelligence keeps getting cheaper. So every 4 months since November of 2022, the price performance of the models versus the intelligence you're getting has improved significantly, faster than the pace of Moore's law. So if that continues to go down, then you can use these things in less efficient ways, so your prompt engineering can be less efficient because the model can itself go and do the search. With it, we have the web search tool, we have Nova web grounding, we have other great tools within Bedrock that are just and Agent Core that are just built in, and it can go and do that research by itself. So I think the horizon of autonomous operation will continue to increase, and you'll see that these agents are able to run for days at a time, and they're able to do stuff that would have taken us maybe years of work in the past in the process, in a matter of days or hours. And the next step, I really think, is going to involve continued increase in the transformer-based architecture. But if we want to get really nerdy for a second, I do think there's a diminishing return in I think there's no training wall. We can keep training forever. And that's one of the things that really excites me about Nova Forge, which we can talk about if you want. We can keep training forever, and we'll still get good, better results. But I do think there's a diminishing return in going larger and making these really complex models that are generative pre-trained transformers alone. I think there needs to be an additional piece of the architecture, whether that's SSMs or some novel architecture we don't know about yet, to really get to AGI or SGI. We are going to need a step change in the underlying architecture. That said, even without that, the utility of transformer-based models is exceptional, and it really is driving massive industry changes.
All right, your turn, Wayne.
So I'm going to approach it from a slightly different perspective, but that's okay. What I think is interesting about this revolution, as compared to like the cloud revolution of that we witnessed sort of earlier in our careers, is this is being pushed from a consumer lens as much as it's being pushed from a technical enterprise lens. Where the cloud, like consumers weren't like clamoring for S3. Like, the average information worker wasn't like, hey, where's my S3 10, 15 years ago?
It's the Ford thing. If I had asked the customer what they wanted, I would get a faster horse.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But in this case, like knowledge workers, non-technical individuals, both within like the enterprise space and sort of outside of it, are clamoring for these capabilities as much as businesses are pushing for it. And so I think we're going to see the ultimate in the consumerization of the enterprise capabilities. Like this is going to push, because people have expectations in the way that they interact with this type of tooling, and those expectations are being set like very fast, and maybe have been set already, or
yes.
or getting there pretty soon.
Yes.
About how these things should behave, about how they feel about interacting with these types of tools, And it's going to, I think, change the way that we deliver IT-like capabilities, both internally and externally, for the next generation.
Well
Absolutely.
said. I agree. Maybe we should all just meet up like a year from now to see where we're at on those goals.
You know, based on how this has gone, it's probably that meetup happens here on this stage in
Yes,
365 days.
That'd be perfect.
So let's find out about that.
All right. But one big thing, you guys are one of our value partners, and you currently won an award. Do you want to talk a little bit about your award?
We won GenAI Consulting Partner of the Year globally. This is incredibly important to me. I have been working in AI and generative AI since the beginning. You know, I think I wrote like the launch post for SageMaker in 2017, and the Transformer architecture came out, and a friend of mine and we did a YouTube video about it, about the attention is all you need paper. We had no idea it was going to blow up this way, but years and years of work and effort went into this, and this is one of 4 awards that we won. So we also got Migration Consulting Partner of the Year, and we got Security Consulting Partner of the Year, and we got the Canadian Partner of the Year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, hold on, to like sidetrack, but stay on the subject. Were the other 3 awards also Gen AI awards? Like at the end, no. Were they empowered by generative AI?
Absolutely. So that's the Caylent Accelerate framework that I'm talking about. It lets us do so much more, so much faster for our customers, and it's mutually beneficial. Just by moving faster, the risk of some of these migrations is decreased. So our customers love the de-risking aspect of moving faster, but we're also more accurate, and we can scale quality control. We can scale verification. And when you do these complex migrations, there are absolutely behavioral changes that happen in the underlying applications. So you have to not just do these strict Boolean equality checks, because those are going to give you a ton of false negatives. What you have to do is a semantic check of, hey, is this behavior different enough that I need to do some change management, or is this something that I can just accept? I mean, even things as simple as collations in databases, just sorting. You know, Postgres sorts slightly differently than Oracle does, and so an E with an accent might come before or after. Things that are simple, that don't really have any end customer impact, will often take up hours and hours of developer time when they really don't need to. An agent can go and solve that.
I actually think you really bring up a sneaky, powerful point, which is test case creation and execution. Like you can have, I was in a meeting with some Amazon folks yesterday, and one of the points that they made is you can have nearly 100% test coverage.
Yes.
And maybe like actually get to 100% test coverage today with these tools. So you can power through a modernization effort with a heck of a lot more confidence that you're not going to leave, a trail of broken pieces behind you.
Absolutely. One thing, kind of a side point to that I see people doing incorrectly is trying to get all of your evals to pass. Because these models are somewhat, non-deterministic in their behavior, you want to purposely find evals that fail. So we kind of use the vibe check as our first step when we're building, and then we just make sure the model can do the task that we're trying to do. Then we enrich the context, we build everything we need to create an eval, and we create hundreds or thousands of these depending on the customer use case. And then we intentionally find evals that fail so that we know what the boundary conditions of the models are. That way when a new model comes out and new evals pass, we know if we're getting better or worse.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, you guys are definitely innovating at a super, super fast clip in this space.
Yeah. Super
exciting to see. So we only have like a minute left in this interview. Do you want to talk about how our audience can find out more about the solutions you guys are creating? You want to share some social media, maybe some blogs you've written? So anything you want to share?
Absolutely. If you go to Caylent.com, you can find out all about our company. If you have a problem you're trying to solve with generative AI, if you're trying to get into AWS, anything you need help with, we are happy to work with you. We love the tough problems. Please bring us the exciting, tough stuff that you maybe don't have the bandwidth to solve. If this sounds like an exciting career for you, we are hiring globally. We have a ton of different roles open, and we would love to hire passionate technologists. And then if you're looking for social media and hot takes on all the new releases, you can follow me at JR Hunt on Twitter, or you can follow at Caylent on all the various socials. And it's really fun to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, audience, for joining us. This is great. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So we're not done yet, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.